Hi Capricorn, I hope you guys are doing great today. Welcome to your general reading for October 1st to the 5th of 2020. I'm only doing the 5 days because we have a lot going on in the sky, and so this is a heavy month, so I think I'm just going to be handling it a little more piecemeal. Why don't we start by talking about the full moon on October 1st. It's going to be in Aries. It's also going to be conjunct Chiron, which is retrograde, right? I've been talking about this since the end of the summer. Chiron is going to be retrograde until the middle of December. Now, this is going to be happening in your 4th house. So what does that mean? The 4th house of home. Cancer is the landlord, right? The moon is the ruler. And this is about really a very healing energy, right? Because think about it. You have Mars retrograde in the 4th, and you have Chiron retrograde, and they're making you look at any sort of past shame, past vulnerabilities, past hurts, anything having to do with home. So this could have to do with your early childhood experience and how it might have impacted you moving forward in your life, having to do with your parents, especially your mother. This could have to do with your physical experience in your home. This could have to do with your home right now and needing to heal something, because the idea here is the light's going to be shining on it. And with these retrogrades, it's Mars retrograde and Chiron retrograde, it's far or only good. It's this forcing of this letting go of this old deep pain, any kind of guilt, any kind of shame surrounding any stage in your life where you may have accumulated any sort of negative baggage that you've taken on your journey with you. It's time to let it go, Capricorn. It's really time to let it go. So that's going to be hitting on the 1st. And we have this just a lot of emotional energy. So everybody just give yourselves a hug. That's why I have my candles set to green. Green is the color of the heart chakra. When we have the ability to give and receive love and have compassion and empathy and kindness, we can heal ourselves. And when our heart chakra is off balance, we experience regret and pain and loss and low self-love and low self-esteem, right? Just so I figured I'd throw those in there because we're doing a lot of healing here. Okay, so that's going to be happening on the 1st. Now on the 3rd, we have Venus is going to be in Virgo. And for you guys, that's going to be happening in your 9th house of belief systems and your philosophies and the framework through which you view life. It also has to do with higher education. Well, Venus in Virgo is a great energy because it's problem-solving energy, right? Venus really is everything that we value. It's money, it's self-love, it's our relationships, right? All kinds. And Virgo is the problem solver of the zodiac. They are. I mean, Virgo kind of gets bad rap because they're very critical, but we need Virgo, right? Virgo's the all right, let's, the pragmatics of it. What do we need to do to fix this kind of thing? And to have Venus in Virgo is a very problem-solving energy. It really is. So to have that in your 9th house, you might be getting some help updating your belief system or with your self-philosophy. Also, some of you could be experiencing a great planning, at least, of a trip abroad. Something having to do with higher education, anything like that. But really nice energy. I'm going to tell you why I really like that, particularly for your belief system, because we have that on the 3rd, right? And then on the 4th, Pluto's finally going direct. Now, you guys have been feeling this big, right? Because all of this nonsense has been going on in your 1st house of self, right? You've had this stellium of Saturn, Pluto, and Jupiter hanging out in your 1st house for like what seems like forever retrograde, right? So Jupiter finally came out of retrograde mid-September. Saturn the end of September. Well, finally, the 3rd part of that stellium is finally coming out of retrograde. Pluto. That's happening on the 4th in your 1st house. So there's definitely this need to transform something within you right now, Capricorn. There's no question. This didn't happen overnight. You guys have been feeling this since 2008. You know what I'm saying? But the energy this week is very profound in that things are kind of rising up to, things have to rise to the surface at some given point, right? Things are very much rising to the surface for there to be this transformation. But what I really like is the next day is going to be the best day of the month. I'm all about not throwing the baby out with the bathwater. 2020 has been a hell of a ride, right? And this is a weird month that we're going into. October, there's no question, but it's not all bad. So we have this minor grand trine happening on the 5th that I'm really kind of excited about. So the Grand Trine, it includes 3 locations. So it's the moon in Taurus, which is happening in your 5th, Neptune in Pisces, which is happening in your 3rd house, and Jupiter in Cancer, which is happening in your 1st house. What does that mean? Well, some of you, this could mean someone whispering like really sweet nothings in your ear that can make you feel warm and fuzzy, safe and secure, right? So maybe some of you are just meeting somebody. I mean, that is the culmination of these 3 energies. It could also mean signing papers for maybe that business that you've been looking to open, signing papers on anything creative that you've been looking to get started. Really good energy for that. This could also mean just communication coming in that you've been waiting for regarding a romantic relationship. Some sort of, again, creative endeavor, or even something having to do with your children. Maybe you're going to be finding out that you're expecting, or that adoption is going through, something having to do with children. For some of you, this could just be a great energy where you're just a really supportive parent to your kids right now, and you're connecting really beautifully with your kids. So all of those things, that's 5th house, 3rd house, 1st house energies together. Obviously could be variations of that, but nonetheless, it's a nice day, right, to end the week, that energy. Okay, so let's get into the cards. Let's pull. First, I'm going to pull a Heal Yourself, because why not? We have Chiron retrograde conjunct this full moon. Oh, look, self-love. Beautiful. Love it for you guys. Very nice. Beautiful. You have to take the time out to get to know yourself and what works for you, Capricorn, at this particular cycle of your life. We're not talking about your whole life, the big grand purpose or anything like that. During this cycle right now, right? Because some of the biggest obstacles to self-love is self-criticism and perfectionism, which ends up leading to harsh judgment of the self and closing down, and eventually even illness in the way of anxiety, maybe some depression, or even a physical manifestation like issues with your shoulders or your lower back or your stomach, right? I mean, this is how physical manifestations can happen. But have you been trying to compete with others or get approval from people in your family, or maybe even simply pushing yourself too hard, right? Trying to get to that end goal before you meant to get there. If so, you need to soften and start listening to your body and focus on keeping your heart open and practice acknowledging and practice recognizing the good in yourself as well as other people right now, as this energy is asking you to breathe in love, in and out, all day throughout the day. And just ask yourself throughout the day, what changes do I need to make to, my daily routine, keeping it real in your daily routine, so that you can bring yourself what it is that you are looking for. What kind of actions do you need to engage in? Really looking at your pragmatic choices here. Again, this isn't a big, heady, existential kind of thing. This is really getting real with your day-to-day, right? Because when you choose to open your heart through softness and deep breathing and relaxation and movement and good choices and all of that, you end up keeping yourself open to accept things, even though it might make you feel a little exposed and a little vulnerable, which is never fun for anyone. But especially earth signs struggle with that. But this is really about having self-love right now, at this point in your life, right? Right now, keeping it real, pragmatics of it all. It's necessary to really love yourself so that, we're all, I guess, you don't all believe in this, but as far as, manifesting things is a real energetic thing. And we can create these manifest without even realizing it, these walls, in our life that prevent us from getting that job, having that relationship, doing what we need to do. We don't even realize we're doing it, but a lot of it is rooted in negative self-talk based on our past experiences. And guys, the past is done. What do I always say? Toothpaste is out of the tube. Let it go. It's a new time. It's a new day. We're prepping for the age of Aquarius. Let's just make some really good choices. Be good people, and that's it. It's all going to happen for you. So let's pull the Light Seers Tarot. First, I'm going to do a double spread. I am going to be working in the past line again. So, a lot of you guys did not like that I left that out last week. That was at the request of a number of viewers, but more viewers didn't like it that I left it out. So I'll put it back in. Yeah, I do agree. It does help to sort of figure out, you know, whether you're going to kind of resonate with the reading or not, right? I know a lot of people use that. Okay. Couple of signs. Again, this world energy. I think it's really great. Okay. Okay, well, hello. The Tower in the past. The Hierophant. All right, so you're going to know, like, that something big ends in your life, either a job, a relationship, a family connection, a friendship, as the Tower is an ending, an unwanted change, right? This sort of upheaval in things. Now, the Tower could also be indicative of you having a sort of like, a lot of epiphanies in your life where you're realizing that the way maybe that you were processing and thinking and looking at your life really wasn't serving you. And the Tower energy comes in and shakes that up, where some sort of experience is had, and you're pushed to understand that, you know, part of the reason why certain things have gone the way they have in your life is because of the choices that you've made. So maybe it's you updating your moral code, your moral compass. And I kind of think that that's a really good energy to be having when you have Venus and Virgo in the 9th house, and have a lot of support as you do that, right? If you're resonating with it like that. Others of you, this could have just absolutely been the end of a marriage, the end of a relationship. Well, quite literally, because the Hierophant card is a marriage energy. Okay, so the Hierophant is about traditions and conventions, expectations, conformity, but there being a coming down of that. So this could be, Capricorn, you deciding to just go in a different path, or somebody else going on a different path, and you experiencing, you being on the receiving end of that, but a coming down of a marriage. But it could also be a coming down of expectations, you know, even of yourself, again, going back to like that internal Tower moment. But that could also have to be connected to relationship. That could also be connected to a job. But it really is about the coming down of you having found yourself in something where you were needing to conform that wasn't meant for you. The expiration date, you stayed way past it. And the thing is, the Tower energy is a Mars card, and Mars will always bring us onto our rightful path, right? So I always say Mars is attached to the Chariot energy, and the Chariot is all about pulling us away from anything that's not meant for us towards that metaphorical home space of that 4th house Cancer energy. So yeah, we have this maintaining your boundaries, being persistent. You're not giving up. I like this. You're keeping and maintaining boundaries. Good. Being persistent, good. We have the Emperor, good. Being the ruler of your own life. Being the ruler of your own life. Now, as a general interpretation, a general energy, this is Emperor energy is about being the leader, making good choices, being very strategic in your planning, right? As you move forward. Some of you quite literally may be having to maintain your boundaries where there's some sort of issue going on here with a parent, particularly a father figure. Okay, so that's going to resonate with some of you, right? Because the Emperor is a father figure. And that the Hierophant would also have to do with like traditions, conventions. So maybe your father has a certain expectation of you, and you're just violating that expectation because it's what he wants, not what you want. And you're maintaining your boundaries, and you know, you're being persistent, right? I mean, that definitely is going to resonate with a number of you. Very literal interpretation here. For others of you, this could indicate if this is a job falling apart here, right? You not giving up, and the Emperor energy does indicate you moving in your own direction, right? Because the Emperor is an Aries energy. Aries is ruled by Mars. It's about a fresh path, a new perspective. So you just setting your sights in a different direction, and you taking control of your life. Those of you who are single, the Emperor can also indicate meeting somebody new who is very, very faithful. And it's a great energy, right? If those of you who are single. Now, the present, we have the 8 of Swords, the Ace of Swords, the 8 and the Ace, okay? So the Ace of Swords is about a new idea and having a lot of mental clarity, which is really great. But at the same time, there's this new conflict that's rising up, right? And it's working with this 8 of Swords energy. And the 8 of Swords is a very self-imposed energy of isolation and imprisoned and just feeling like you don't really belong here, right? So you might be in this space of realizing, Capricorn, that what you're doing in your life right now is really not speaking to what you really want. But then comes the conflict. Then comes the follow-up question. Then what do you really want? Like, if it's not this relationship, then what relationship do you want? Like, what do you even want? What do you want it to look like? If it's not, if it has to do with your job, if it has to do with where you live, if it really could be anything in your life, but something is going to be coming to you where you're going to be getting a lot of mental clarity, realizing that you feel rather trapped in a situation and saying, you know what, Capricorn, this is going to be you. Like, the World card here is your ruler. It's Saturn. It's like, Dad, I've had enough, right? We've been doing this dance since 2008. I'm ready to get off this ride, as the world is about completing a goal or a lesson. It's completion. And then we have the Eight of Pentacles, which is about building, right? It's mastering, actually, more specifically. So if you learned your lesson in that relationship, like that, if you're not feeling like you fit in that relationship, you're having great clarity, you're ending the cycle, and you're figuring out what you really want. That's going to resonate with some of you. Others of you, if you're feeling like you just don't belong in that job and you're realizing now exactly what it is, you're very focused on ending that cycle. You learned a lot from that cycle, but now it's time for you to master a craft in a different way so that you can really enjoy your employment. Just really enjoy what it is that you do. And you're really figuring out what's necessary to be successful in something that might be different than what you've been doing right now. Now, for those of you in relationship that where you're not getting a divorce or anything like that, right? You guys have been together for a long time. There's definitely this epiphany, this new idea, having some sort of mental clarity that's going to be coming to you. There's no question, where you're realizing, the ebb and flow of relationships, and there's some sort of cycle that's ending within the relationship, but then you guys are figuring it out together. You're mastering what's necessary for the relationship together. There is a mastering element to the Eight of Pentacles, and when we're talking about relationships, Pentacles does indicate mental, physical, and emotional connection. It's not only money. So it's mastering connection, it's mastering communication, intimacy, your social life. What does everybody want and need here? So that you feel like you belong and you're not in that Eight of Swords energy. Really good. And I do just want to say, for those of you, some of you, Ace of Swords can mean surgery. So, minor surgery, it's not a big deal. Feeling like something is not right with you, that's the Eight of Swords energy. Feeling something is very left of center for you, but it going really well. And that being the ending of a cycle and you healing beautifully with the Eight of Pentacles. Okay, so let's talk about the near future. We have the Judgment working with the Page of Wands, working with the Six of Swords, working with the Three of Wands. Okay, so why don't we talk about the Judgment first? Because the Judgment energy is about forgiveness, there's clarity here, a final decision, there's a wake-up call. You're realizing that you really want to do something, almost like a life's purpose kind of thing. Not that it's going to happen in a moment, but you're having this realization, right? I mean, look at how free, right? She's like, yay, I finally feel free. So it's this release. It's a release. But you have to make the decision here to release something. You have to make the decision to forgive. This is very necessary, especially if it has to do with relationship. And just understand that, as I always say with the Judgment energy, right? You did the best you could with the tools in your toolbox when you were in it. And maybe you didn't show up the best way. Maybe they didn't show up the best way. But it's done. It's past. Now you need to make a decision, right? What are you going to do? Are you going to release? You could forgive and release. There is such a thing as that. I forgive you, whatever. Everybody's forgiven. But it's time that we make this final decision and realize and have clarity as to, where it is that we need to go. Because the future is totally calling you. I mean, the Three of Wands is the Sun and Aries energy, right? I mean, this is about teamwork and expansion, though. This is teamwork. What I mean by that is the Three of Wands is not in a lonely energy. It's like somebody is calling you forth. Something is calling you forth. So this could be a job offer. This could be a new relationship. This could just be the future calling. This could be reaching a point in your relationship where you guys are sort of finding each other again. You know, you're beginning a new cycle, a fresh cycle, right? After the forgiveness, after the release, after the clarity of, oh my gosh, I actually really want to be with you. What is that going to look like? Or this could definitely be a releasing the job or straightening things out at the job. And very positive energy, Sun in Aries, okay? Very positive as far as teamwork. This is an energy of commerce as well, expansion, travel. So really, really nice. But there is this moving away from toxicity for sure. I mean, of course there is, because we have the Judgment energy. So the Six of Swords is a very necessary transition. For some of you, this is going to indicate relocating, moving altogether. But at the very least, it's transitioning away from something that really was not working as it was. It just wasn't working as it was. You know, and then we have the Page of Wands. And the Page of Wands is, it's a very active energy for sure. It's a very passionate, very motivated energy. So this can indicate being really excited about a new job, a new idea, a new approach to something, feeling a lot of passion about the newness of a cycle. So you can connect that to a new cycle within a relationship, or something within your career, but it going really well. It going well because of this Judgment energy, right? I mean, there's clarity here. There's clarity here, and there's purpose figured out. So I really like that. And this is in your near future. This is not yet. This is in your near future. And then the final outcome here, we have the Knight of Wands, the Three of Swords, the Star, and the Moon. So let's just talk about this for some of you. Be very careful with this Three of Swords. We have the Knight of Wands. And the Knight of Wands is a very lusty and free-spirited person, very creative, very energetic, very sexy, very sensual for those dealing with relationship. And the Three of Swords could mean at the end of the day, that person was a dog. At the end of the day, this person was not faithful. So that can absolutely, you know, be the story for some of you here, right? And then we have the Moon energies, unseen problems, right? And voluntary changes, right? I mean, obviously, it's probably how you're going to respond if you find out that this person is doing this. But the Moon is also about trusting your intuition to focus on your future, because then we have the Star energy, and the Star is about renewal and hope and inner clarity and having faith. You know, and being in the spotlight and healing, right? It's the Stars and Aquarius energy, which is ruled by Uranus. It's all about focusing on the moving forward, you know, and healing. It's a very healing energy. So for those of you who maybe you went through some sort of painful situation with somebody even further in the past, but you're just dealing with it now. And you're trusting yourself, and it's this time at which you're going to be doing some really solid healing. Okay, that could be for relationship. Now, for others of you, this could be a lot of disappointment in a business venture, right? Because the Three of Swords, at the end of the day, the Three of Swords is Saturn and Libra. And Saturn is about that restriction, and Libra has to do with the 7th house of partnership. So that could be business partnerships, people that we have a shared soul purpose with. This could even be relationship with a close family member or a friend. But there being this challenge where that challenge brought us it brought us pain, but it's a very specific kind of, like a betrayal kind of pain, right? It's a betrayal kind of pain, because this energy is about heartbreak. For some, it could be about divorce. And for some, it's just loss. Some, it's depression. Another surgery energy, though, I do have to say. We got 2 surgery energies for those of you who are, but mine are arcana, so it's okay. But, okay, so this could be, you know, the Knight of Wands could have been this offer of a new job or this new idea, but it not going very well. Right? Maybe it not bringing you the money that you were looking for, right? Because again, Saturn in Libra's ruled by Venus. It wasn't bringing you the money. It wasn't making you feel good about yourself. If you were in business with a partner, maybe they betrayed you. There was some sort of betrayal energetic betrayal transaction. So maybe you were offered a certain amount of money and it was retracted on. There was something that was very painful here, right? And so because of that, you know, and you didn't see these problems coming, but now you're creating voluntary changes and you're trusting your intuition so that you can focus on your future, so that you can have this renewal, this hope, right? Gaining this clarity. So there's a lot of clarity energy that's going on here for you. There's a lot. But you are going to be dealing with some pain in the future, but I see that the pain is actually necessary to level you up into the star energy, which is about renewal and hope. It's whatever was betraying you here, that needed to happen, and it needs to stay in the past as you focus on your future. So that's what I see for that. Okay, so let's sweep these and pull some Lenormand, and we'll pull some qualifiers with the Crystal Visions Tarot for those. Any of the messages we need to know for our Capricorn brother and sisters for October 1st through the 5th, 2020. Messages. Thank you. Cycle coming in. Who got this? I feel like Sagittarius got this in the same spot. So that's definitely about a cycle ending and a new one beginning, but it's ending and beginning. It has something to do with a message that's coming in, because you notice she has the messenger bag with the letter, right? You notice that there? Remember, Capricorn, Lenormand is different than regular tarot. Time. Magnifying glass. Okay, Venus woman. Mice. Clouds. Letter with the white feather. Some sort of truth is coming in. Okay, let me get the other woman. Let's end it there. So the women in Lenormand could be you or any prominent female. If you're a female, if you're a male Capricorn, this could be the female in your, you know, if you're romantically connected. But really, it could be any female. And the male, same thing when they come up as any male in your life. Although the energy, the two are different. So we first have this. Okay, let me just think about this for a second. Be very careful about jumping into anything too quickly, Capricorn, okay? Because it does seem like, you know, this message is coming in and you're going to feel the clock is ticking. But you need to look at something a little more closely. Now, the thing is, when we have the Venus woman, Venusian energy is very caught up in things that we value, right? So this can absolutely be somebody very focused on falling in love, or very focused on just feeling good about self for the moment, or focused on money, because Venus is also a money planet. But then we have the mice, and this is very important to understand here, because this indicates something gnawing, eating away, slowly siphoning money away, or this can indicate an issue eating away at you that's really bothering you. But this is like, can be like a slow and insidious kind of thing, like something is just gnawing at you. And that whatever is happening here, you're feeling very assertive to get into something, be it a relationship, a business, to just move forward, get something, do something. But you want to be careful of getting into something too quickly, because we see conflict here. Now, there's sun on the other side. It's not going to be the end of the world. It just indicates that because some sort of information is coming in, some sort of truth is going to reveal itself. And whatever truth reveals itself, you're going to release whatever it was that you were trying to pressure, and you're just going to relax, and you're going to be patient. You're just going to be patient. And you're going to be looking back at all of this as something that was entirely necessary. And this can stand for, even if you're a male Capricorn in a relationship, if your relationship has been on the rocks, like things are, the message comes in, you guys are very conscious of time, you want to push forward in something, but something was not appropriately addressed, you have this conflict, this truth comes in, this illumination happens, this clarity happens, and everybody just calms down a little bit. It's like, all right, we can't push it. Something can't be pushed here. There's patience is definitely necessary, I'm feeling here. And you're like, Jackie, really? I'm the GOAT, man. Greatest of all time. GOAT. But, right, who's more patient than the sea goat, for goodness sake? Tell me to be patient. Right? Is that what you're saying to yourself? Come on, woman. Patient. You guys are patient. But everybody has their limit. Right? Sure. Everybody's got their cap. It's part of the human condition. Let's get some final outcome energies. Two of Pentacles. Two of Pentacles. Okay. So that could be a new job, a raise, promotion, new investment, new income. Feeling confused, though, between two energies as well. Okay. Because it's Jupiter and Capricorn. Jupiter expands whatever it's in, right? And you guys are all about work. So like, what do you want to put your work into? This or that? Could be for a relationship as well. Okay. I'm not reading the reversals for these here. And then we have Temperance. And then we have the Ten of Pentacles. I do normally read reversals, but not with the one woman. So we have the Hierophant here. So the Hierophant is all about, traditions, conventions, expectations, conformity, right? We've been talking about that. And then the Temperance energy is needing to balance something, right? Having patience, self-control, moderation. Because if we can do that, if we can focus on this idea of, healthy expectations, healthy conformity, creating a healthy tradition for yourself, letting go of stuff that doesn't work for you anymore. It really doesn't. And it's interesting because the Hierophant first came out reversed. You guys know I read reversals a lot because I think there's a lot of value in them. But usually when I'm using like a different system, I don't. But I do want to just mention that this Hierophant, the Hierophant reverse does mean being original and being creative and maybe having some problems with authority or the way that you're supposed to be or what's expected of you. So some of you might be resonating with it like that, but the Hierophant energy really is about creating healthy expectations, healthy traditions, right? And you do this through balance, through tempering. What do you need? What do they need? What does the situation need? Whether it's having to do with a job, a relationship, it doesn't matter, because ultimately the end goal here is the Ten of Pentacles, which is all about, the Ten of Pentacles is a big energy. The basic interpretation is it's about leaving a legacy, retirement. Some of you maybe are looking to retire. Some of you may be dealing with some sort of inheritance issue. But the Ten of Pentacles is also, maybe some of you are purchasing a home and you're getting some help from the family. Some of you are purchasing a business, you're getting help from the family. This is also an energy of, will you marry me? Deepening of commitment, deepening of connection. But that can't happen without there being a tempering of what's expected in the relationship, right? There needs to be this tempering of what's necessary here. So, really good. See you guys working through a lot of stuff here. And why not? I mean, you have the Moon in Taurus. You have Mars retrograde, going on in that fourth house for you guys. So, I mean, I just feel like you guys are going to be looking at, what do you fundamentally need in relationship and job? You're just going to be looking at the bottom line of it all. Okay. So we have Capricorn. We have the 8th house. We have Saturn. So we have you, we have your ruler, and we have the 8th house. So the 8th house is very much a we energy, right? The 2nd house is a me energy. 8th house is a we energy. It's your partner's money. It means a lot. So it can mean your partner's money, but more than anything, it's how you show up as a we. So it's your money with your partner's money. How do you guys compromise as far as finances? How do you guys show up as far as intimacy goes? 8th house is Scorpio. And Scorpio, the modern ruler, is Pluto. So it's about transformation. It's about endings and beginnings. Okay, there's a lot of karma that's attached to these dice here. So the 8th house does also indicate like inheritance, any sort of payout, the stock market, you know, any money that we make not through our own blood, sweat, and tears kind of thing. But we have it in there with Capricorn, with Saturn. And I like this because this tells me that, look, wherever there's Saturn, you're saying that like there's restriction, but there's this willingness to work at something when it comes to joining up with other, whether it has to do with relationship, whether it has to do with business. This is like you showing up, you being there. Yeah. In a very earthy way, we have Taurus, the bombshell. But this is being very earthy and practical and productive. This is like a very productive card to pull up. It's the bombshell because Venus rules Taurus. But, you know, when we say Taurus, we think more of like our animal spirit, right? More about our practical, steadfast part of ourselves, right? But this is being very tenacious, right? Blooming, solid. I like that as closing energy. I really do. All right, good stuff from my Capricorn friends. I hope this was helpful in some way. Thank you so much for joining me. And I should be doing a deep love by the end of the week. Okay, I'll see you guys then. Take care now. Bye-bye.